Have you ever found yourself suddenly awake at 3 or 4 in the morning, your heart beating faster than usual, your mind oddly alert, and your soul feeling as though it's brushing against something beyond the physical? If so, you are not alone. This mysterious nighttime awakening has long captivated people from all walks of life, whether they are devout believers, casual spiritual seekers, or simply curious about the world's hidden wonders. Tonight, I invite you to journey with me through the depths of this phenomenon, weaving together spiritual insights, biblical stories, scientific perspectives, and practical steps that can help you harness the power of these special hours between 1 and 5 in the morning. We will explore why scientists say the body is in a peak REM phase, where your dreams may be at their most intense, and why many believe the veil between the seen and unseen is thinner during these sacred hours. I will also share how you can tap into that energy to connect with the divine. Imagine yourself lying peacefully in the stillness of night, a soft glow from the moon resting upon your window. In that hush, there's an unmistakable invitation to reflect, to pray, to seek clarity. For centuries, many faith traditions have spoken of a moment in the pre-dawn hours when you are more receptive to spiritual truths. So let's begin by exploring the significance of these awakening times, from the early hours of 1 or 2 in the morning, moving onward through the night until we arrive at the dawn, where a promise of renewal awaits. 2 a.m. can be surprisingly unsettling. Your body might feel restless, your thoughts clouded with worries. According to those who study the spiritual meaning of late-night awakenings, this hour can reflect unresolved tension, guilt, or confusion that has been bubbling beneath the surface throughout the day. Have you ever opened your eyes in the darkness, unable to return to sleep, thoughts swirling about a critical decision you've been avoiding, or a relationship that seems to teeter on the edge of conflict? This may be a whisper from your subconscious, compelling you to confront what's been buried. In many cultures, this interval invites introspection. If this happens to you, try gently placing your hand over your heart as you lie in bed. Close your eyes and ask, what am I feeling at this very moment? Give yourself permission to name the emotion. If it's fear, recognize it. If it's regret, lean into it. Sometimes journaling right then and there, a simple sentence or two, can help release those concerns to God or to that deeper wellspring of understanding within you. The Bible often illustrates how spiritual revelations can occur in moments of deep vulnerability. Think of Joseph of Nazareth, who was crushed by worry upon learning Mary was pregnant. Scripture recounts that in the stillness of his troubled sleep, an angelic voice offered him divine guidance. This resonates with the idea that nighttime can be a channel for heavenly messages, delivered right into the silent corridors of our most sincere emotions. If you find yourself aching with anxiety at 1:30 a.m., try whispering a simple prayer of surrender. Ask for wisdom, for calm, and for the courage to accept truth. Then breathe. Imagine your exhalations carrying away the tension lodged in your chest. Even if you don't drift back to sleep immediately, you create a sacred space where honest reflection flourishes. In that way, these early hours become an altar for transforming worry into renewed resolve. Kind of stirring. Some researchers in traditional Chinese medicine connect this time frame to the liver, a powerhouse organ that purifies and detoxifies. When people awaken repeatedly around this hour, it sometimes indicates stress or emotional burdens that the body struggles to process. From a biblical perspective, we have a dramatic account of King Hezekiah, who lay sick in bed, staring at the shadows of night, aware that his days were slipping away. In a moment of profound despair, he turned his face to the wall and cried out to the Lord, begging for healing and more time. Miraculously, his plea was heard and new life was granted to him. This story evokes the hope that no matter how dire a situation may appear, the quiet hours of night can birth a fresh beginning. If you sense a gnawing ache, physical or emotional, try visualizing a stream of divine light coursing through your body, cleansing your mind of harmful residues. You might pray, "Heal me, O Lord, in whatever way I most need." Sometimes healing comes as a release of resentment or anger that has hardened within. If you discover that anxiety or bitterness keeps you awake, consider journaling about its root cause. Is it a difficult co-worker, a tense family dynamic, or perhaps disappointment in yourself? For some, writing down a letter of forgiveness, whether directed to another person or to your own heart, can bring immediate relief. Or, if you're drawn to exercise, a gentle stretch in the dark or a guided meditation might ease your tension. Infuse these actions with faith and intentionality, remembering that even the simplest practice can be a prayer when done with sincerity. Between 3 o'clock and 4 a.m., often referred to as the hour of the gods or the hour of the divine. People across different traditions hold that the boundary between the earthly and the spiritual realms becomes more permeable around this time. Scientifically, it's linked to REM sleep, where your brain is highly active and your dreams can feel extraordinarily vivid. Waking during this phase can jolt you with a sense of heightened awareness. Perhaps you have felt it, a tingling in the air, a sudden rush of clarity, or an inexplicable peace that washes over you. Some believe this hour carries a celestial calling, an appointment set by God or the universe to commune with your deepest self. It's a chance to slip into prayer or meditation with greater receptivity. In the Garden of Gethsemane, as recorded in the Bible, Jesus fell to his knees under the olive trees late at night, tormented by what lay ahead, but finding in that raw prayer a resolute strength to fulfill his purpose. If you awaken at 3:15 a.m. feeling strangely awake, try this. Turn off all distractions, remain still, and focus on the present moment. Ask God, or however you conceive the divine, to reveal what your soul most needs. Perhaps you'll remember fragments of a dream that speak volumes about your life. Write them down. Or maybe you'll feel a gentle prompting to forgive someone you've been holding a grudge against. Let your prayer be a conversation, not a monologue. Listen for that quiet, subtle voice in the silence. One testimonial that continues to amaze me is from a woman who, night after night, rose at exactly 3:30 a.m. She began quietly praying for guidance about her failing business. Day by day, she claims, she received nudges, small ideas that she described as divinely inspired. By the end of a few months, she had turned her entire venture around, attributing it to what she called her 3 a.m. miracle meetings with God. Whether or not you share her faith, her story is a testament to the power of consistent focus and spiritual discipline. We are on the cusp of dawn. This is the time of early birds and quiet roads, a transitional space between the secrecy of night and the promise of a new day. If you find yourself waking just before sunrise, it can be a signal for renewal and fresh beginnings. Many people who practice early morning rituals discover a surprising sense of motivation. The world is still calm. The typical noise of daily life has yet to ramp up. If the previous hours were about wrestling with internal conflict or seeking divine inspiration, this hour can usher in clarity and determination. Symbolically, it's reminiscent of the resurrection narratives in Christian tradition, where dawn marked victory over darkness. Imagine stepping outside, even if just to your balcony or window. Notice how the sky slowly brightens, bringing forth color after the uniform dark of midnight. Use this moment to set intentions for your day. Ask yourself, what new habit do I want to cultivate starting right now? If you've been struggling with discipline, maybe you've been wanting to read more, eat healthier, or forgive someone, this is an excellent time to declare that intention in prayer or meditation. Mornings often carry an energy of possibility. If you're guided by faith, you might recite Psalm 23 or any passage that resonates with hope. Feel the quiet anticipation in the air. Some people like to do a quick gratitude practice, naming 3 blessings or achievements they hope to focus on that day. Others chant or speak affirmations such as, "I welcome new opportunities," or "I embrace this day with a hopeful heart." Even if you go back to bed afterward, allowing your mind to briefly spark with positivity can influence the tone of the hours to come. And emotional significance of 4 distinct hours in the night. But how do we interpret the dreams that might arise when you drift back to sleep or wake from your deepest slumber? Dreams can be mysterious, sometimes bizarre, and other times profoundly illuminating. Many ancient cultures considered dreams as messages from the divine. In the Bible, Joseph, renowned for his ability to interpret the Pharaoh's dreams, highlighted how certain symbols can be insights into future events. But how do we know if a dream is a casual byproduct of our day's stress or something more meaningful? One approach is to keep a dream journal by your bed. The moment you wake, jot down every detail you recall: colors, people, emotions, or symbols. Don't judge or analyze it yet. Simply record it. Later, you can reflect and see patterns or repeated themes. You may notice that certain numbers or animals show up, reminiscent of biblical dream motifs like the 7 lean cows in Pharaoh's dream that symbolized an impending famine. In our modern context, a repeated symbol might represent an unresolved personal conflict, a spiritual calling, or an opportunity you have yet to seize. If you suspect a dream might carry divine guidance, consider praying or meditating over it. Ask for clarity. Sometimes, the clarity will come through conversations with trusted friends or spiritual mentors. Other times, you might stumble upon a scripture passage that resonates with what you dreamed. Never underestimate the power of collaboration between your conscious mind and your higher self. Dreams are a medium of communication that transcends logic. They speak in images and metaphors. If you're open, you might discover that your dreams, especially those recalled around these sacred nighttime hours, contain threads of inspiration that guide your waking life in unexpected ways. Awakenings. Scientific exploration has revealed that stress hormones can spike in the early hours, particularly if we've carried anxiety into our sleep. Perhaps your mind is replaying unresolved conflicts, clinging to them like an unrelenting loop. This can awaken you at odd times. Alternatively, your environment, excessive warmth, background noise, even subtle lighting, might contribute to fragmented sleep. Yet when seen through the lens of faith, each awakening becomes an invitation, not merely an inconvenience. The difference lies in how we respond. Some people remain in a cycle of frustration, tossing and turning, staring at the ceiling. Others seize the moment to whisper a prayer, read an uplifting passage, or cultivate gratitude. By shifting frustration into spiritual awareness, you transform what could be an annoyance into a divine appointment. One couple I know turned their sleep disruptions into what they call night watch worship. Whenever one of them wakes up, they gently nudge the other, and they spend a few quiet minutes reflecting on scripture or singing a brief hymn. They insist it has strengthened their bond and deepened their faith. While this may not appeal to everyone, it highlights the idea that the significance of these hours often depends on your openness to exploring them. So if you feel an urging in your heart at 3 in the morning, maybe it's time to try turning on a soft light, writing a letter of thanks, reading a few meaningful verses, or simply practicing controlled breathing to invite peace into your spirit. These periods, know that many people throughout history have dealt with similar experiences. Sometimes these nightmares may symbolize trauma or deeper fears you haven't addressed. For those who approach life through the lens of faith, inviting God's presence into that space can be powerfully comforting. You might pray something like, "Lord, stand with me in this darkness, and let no harm come near me." Or if you adhere to a broader spiritual worldview, you might affirm, "I am protected by divine light. Darkness and fear cannot hold me." Speak these words gently but with conviction, as if ushering in a protective shield around your room. In the biblical accounts, when Jesus' followers experienced terror, be it from storms or spiritual oppressions, his reassurance was simple yet profound. "Fear not, for I am with you." Fear often loses its power the moment we meet it with love and faith. You might also look into calming herbal teas, aromatherapy, or relaxing soundscapes, as the physical environment can play a huge role in how peacefully you traverse the night. Creating a calming ritual before bedtime, lowering the lights, reading an uplifting quote, or even listening to gentle music primes your body and mind to meet those special hours with a sense of sacred reverence rather than dread. Remember that these awakenings between 1 o'clock and 5 a.m. represent a continuum of self-discovery, spiritual attunement, and potential rebirth. Each hour carries its unique energy. From the early hours of wrestling with hidden emotions to the healing hour that brings us face to face with our physical and emotional health, moving on to the spiritual apex around 3 o'clock or 4 a.m., and finally arriving at the hour before dawn that symbolizes renewal. If you reflect on these times, you might notice a pattern that mirrors your personal growth. Perhaps in past weeks, you found yourself repeatedly awakened at 2:15 a.m. Then, as you began addressing certain stresses in your life, changing your diet, forgiving someone who wronged you, you slept more soundly. Eventually, your nighttime awakening shifted to around 4 a.m., where you now wake feeling calm, almost expectant, as if being prepared for something new. This subtle shift could indicate a spiritual progression, where your mind and heart are aligning with deeper truths. It might even be that you experience vivid dreams that reaffirm your newfound direction. Or maybe you sense the presence of God more keenly, as though these hours are shaping your soul for blessings to come. Don't underestimate the impact of small spiritual disciplines. By simply pausing to pray or reflect for a few minutes, you might find yourself carrying a sense of peace throughout the day, noticing little coincidences or God winks that reaffirm your path. Over time, you develop the kind of faith that's not just theoretical, but lived and felt in the fabric of your daily life. These changes often start with those seemingly inconvenient middle-of-the-night awakenings. Healing, personal testimonies, and spiritual intimacy, it's time to take everything we've learned and shape it into a daily or nightly practice. When you wake in the middle of the night, don't rush to label it as a disruption. Instead, see it as an opening, a portal to greater self-knowledge and deeper communion with God. Remind yourself that countless others share this experience, from ancient prophets to modern entrepreneurs who found inspiration in the midnight stillness. In that realization, you might sense a powerful bond that transcends time and culture. The next time you open your eyes before dawn, take a moment to be still. Ask, what am I being invited to learn in this moment? Is there a dream message I need to record, a feeling I need to release, or a prayer I must speak? Embrace each breath as a silent prayer. Let your heart find solace in the knowledge that there is a purpose behind every awakening. If you are compelled to dive deeper, you might keep reading scripture or engaging with literature that resonates with you. You might share your insights with a trusted friend, a prayer partner, or an online community. The act of sharing can magnify the blessings you receive. And if you yearn for more guidance, consider exploring the symbolic language of your dreams or researching the testimonies of those who have experienced remarkable transformations by using these pre-dawn hours to cultivate their faith. Above all, remember that transformation is not a single moment of revelation, but a journey, one night and one awakening at a time. May you discover that waking up at night holds a hidden spark, a spark that can illuminate your path with clarity and bring you closer to the enduring love and wisdom that surrounds us all.